Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, The Primordial Law. Volume 9, Demon Kingdom Chessboard. Chapter 129 1071 The Xiaoyao King. 129th of Volume 9. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. Xiaoyao capital's 5 elements heaven and earth grand formation enveloped a region spanning 800 li. At its peak a century ago, this vast land had a population exceeding 100 million, drawing human race elites and martial Dao powerhouses from the Demon Kingdom and surrounding life realms. The Xiaoyao Palace served as its core. The inner city, stretching 400 li from north to south, encompassed formations such as North Lake and the Heavenly Fire Demon Cave. Over 70% of the population resided here, divided into 64 prefectures, each garrisoned with troops and arrayed in battle formations. The outer city's domain was several times larger than the inner cities, extending the formations of the inner city's 4 cardinal directions: North Water, South Fire, East Wood, and West Gold. It housed numerous settlements, sect estates, manor palaces, military camps, and beast arenas. Mount Chao and the Myriad Mysteries Temple were both located within the outer city. The outer city lacked city walls. To the north flowed a defensive moat, to the west rose the Metal Ore Mountains housing the Demon Tomb, to the south yawned the Heavenly Fire Spatial Rift, and to the east stretched a colossal giant stone formation spanning hundreds of li. The second Buddha, draped in a crimson kasaya, stood atop the imposing eastern city wall of the inner city, gazing down upon the outer city. The city domain below resembled a primeval jungle. Towering trees teemed with wildlife, occasionally revealing glimpses of streetlights and architectural clusters hidden beneath the foliage. In the distance, the giant stone formation stood silhouetted against the horizon like a row of black rods. Each black rod was a colossal megalith at least several dozen meters tall, with some towering over 300 meters, resembling stone hills. The formation light veil of the outer city surged skyward, using the giant stone formation as its boundary. In the next instant, second Buddha traversed the entire outer city and landed atop the tallest stone hill within the giant stone formation, gazing beyond the light veil. Outside the outer city, influenced by the East Wood, Qi of Xiaoyao capital, the vegetation grew even more luxuriant, with 100 giant trees towering everywhere. Martial cultivators and strange beasts grazing in the pastures outside the city were terrified by the successive appearances of transcendent auras and converged frantically along the giant stone formation's perimeter. Shi Yao, Shi Rao, the True Spirit King, Zhu Yi, the Night Calamity Corpse King, Yu Jia, and other powerhouses of the Battle of Dao, figures of peerless heroism and commanding stature, stood tall and majestic atop a towering mountain 300 li from the giant stone formation, like heavenly deities descending to the mortal realm. The martial cultivators of Xiaoyao capital called this mountain, Gate Mountain, the eastern gateway to the city. Surrounded by flat plains, Gate Mountain shone brilliantly under the moonlight, resembling an immortal island rising from a sea of 10,000 forests. East of Gate Mountain, a series of thunderous roars reverberated through the night. Blocked by the mountain, the battle was invisible to the naked eye. All that could be seen was a vibrant, multicolored glow illuminating the eastern night sky, flickering with immense qi. Of the 7 eyes adorning Bai Feng's body, only the 2 upon his face remained open. His long hair blazed like crimson flames, and his sharply defined muscles seemed forged from Zan iron. Clatter, clatter. He straddled a 6-jong-long purple flame Xuanhuan soul beast, a nether thunder spear in one hand, crackling with suppressed thunder. In his other hand, he carried a war banner crafted from the skin and hair of Duanwu Shenji. The banner billowed in the wind as he advanced step by step toward Gate Mountain. Boom! A spear strike hurled across the void obliterated a town 20 li away, the nether thunder reducing it to ashes. Though most of the town's residents had already fled to Xiaoyao capital, tens of thousands still perished in the attack. Along his march, he had razed over a dozen towns and slaughtered 1 million living beings, absorbing their soul spirits to fuel his combat state to its peak. This rampage was fueled by Shi Rao's report that the 8th Buddha of the Buddhist division had further refined his cultivation, now deemed worthy of being his opponent. If you Buddhist vermin dare not face me tonight, you'd best scurry back to Yingxi and spare yourselves further humiliation. Bai Feng roared, his voice carrying hundreds of miles across the land, intended for every human in Xiaoyao capital to hear. The purple flame Xuanhuan beneath him was a condensed immortal soul of the ancient immortal giant beast, the Xuanhuan. Each time its claw struck the ground, the surrounding forests burst into flames, and the earth transformed into crimson soil. On the inner city walls, Cao Chen drew the dragon tongue bow, channeling the full power of the supreme artifact. Snap! An arrow shot through the air, trailing a brilliant tail 30 yards long as it hurtled toward Bai Feng, hundreds of miles away. Xiaoyao capital's defensive formation was designed to repel invaders, not to contain its inhabitants. While this facilitated attacks against external enemies, it also made it easy for rogues and criminals within the city to escape. A massive, rust-covered sword materialized from the night sky, plunging into the ground directly in front of Bai Feng. Boom. The sword, as tall as a mountain peak, landed beside Gate Mountain. The arrow collided with it, erupting into a blinding cloud of fire. The force of the impact drove the massive sword back 300 feet, shattering the surrounding forest into splinters. Has the so-called Buddhist division truly fallen so low as to require old generation experts to assassinate junior Battle of Dao participants? Bai Feng sneered. Cao Chen, if you seek battle, this king will gladly grant you death. Heavy, thundering footsteps caused the very earth to tremble ceaselessly. The lord of the decaying marsh and corpse sea, the giant spirit corpse king, strode forth from the plains behind Gate Mountain. An ancient immortal giant, he stood with his feet firmly planted on the earth and his head piercing the clouds. Clad in Dao-patterned purple robes, his decayed features were framed by long, waterfall-like strands of hair cascading from the clouds, each strand radiating faint immortal light. The giant spirit corpse king gripped the rusted sword and dragged it from the mud. Gray corpse energy billowed outward from his body, spreading hundreds of miles in every direction. The true spirit king, standing atop the mountain peak, couldn't help but laugh. We're the only ones who take the Battle of Dao seriously, treating it with the respect it deserves. We wanted to gauge the true strength of the Yingxi Buddhist sect, but who would have thought they were so utterly pathetic? It was merely a competition among juniors, yet they couldn't even stomach a loss. Shi Yao said, this arrow alone has nailed the entire Yingxi Buddhist sect to the pillar of shame. Zhu Yi fought until he collapsed from exhaustion. The corpse king Yi Ju was critically wounded by Bu Kong Cheng Ji, and Di Lingzi died in battle, yet our elders never intervened. Our attitude toward the Dao is sacred, earnest, and respectful of our opponents. Humans can be deceived, events can be manipulated, but the Dao cannot be deceived. Those who deceive the Dao will never attain the great Dao. She Rao donned a set of blue dragon scale armor, accentuating her shapely figure. Whoosh, whoosh. Cao Chen and Commander Fan Dao of the Imperial Guard descended upon the rocky hilltop where second Buddha stood. Behind the giant spirit corpse king, in the distant night sky, a vast and realistic ocean hung suspended in the void. At its center floated the dragon abyss sea-suppressing cauldron, ancient and gold-tinged, radiating an overwhelming aura of supreme power. This was the supreme treasure of the intercepting Jijiao division, now in the hands of the Six Seas Dragon Emperor. In another distant direction, a towering spatial rift, several hundred feet high, split the ground vertically. From the dark void emerged a pale purple figure clutching an ancient leather scroll, standing silently on the banks of a lush, great river. He was the venerable Shi Yang of the True Spirit sect, the guardian and wielder of the Dark Void Emperor Shadow Life Scroll. Just days earlier, he had already intervened, helping the Six Seas Dragon Emperor escape from Xiaoyao capital. Riding his purple flame Xuanhuan, Bai Feng crossed Gate Mountain, holding Duanmu Xinji's human skin banner aloft, and shouted, "My master, the Void Ruin Ghost Emperor, is the strongest in southern Yingzhou. He says that in Yingzhou, the dead spirits are the true masters, their strength outstripping the living by tenfold. The human race has always teetered on the brink of annihilation, struggling desperately for survival, weak, insignificant, and little more than livestock. And this time, are you struggling once again? Have any of you ever witnessed the slaughter of livestock? That is precisely how the human race struggles in our hands, wailing, trembling in terror, yet, alas, they ultimately cannot escape their demise. I take great pleasure in watching them struggle." Zhuo Tianqing, Ji Mu, and Feng Yi immediately rushed from North Lake to the eastern outskirts of the city, flying to join second Buddha and his companions. The successor of the Void Ruin Ghost Emperor is as arrogant as expected, Ji Mu sneered. Zhuo Tianqing countered, but he's not entirely wrong. Throughout history, every battle between the dead spirits and us has been a desperate struggle for survival. Only by winning, by holding our ground, can we hope to live. Should we fail to hold, our entire race faces extinction. They alone possessed the power to attack us, we never had the strength to retaliate. Over 1,000 years of peace have caused everyone to forget this fundamental truth, to forget just how arduous the struggle for survival truly is. Have Night Demon City, Blazing City, and Earth Origin City prepared their war defenses. These three prefecture cities, each with 10 million inhabitants, were the closest to Xiaoyao capital and served as its primary defense lines. Cao Chen reported, on the surface, the three cities have activated their city-protecting formations and mobilized their armies. Secretly, the Buddhist division's Transcendents, King Wuji, the eldest princess, and a contingent of Transcendents and Immortal Realm martial cultivators are lying in ambush, ready to strike at any moment. But the three cities will inevitably fall, Zhuo Tianqing said grimly. Our only hope is to make the enemy pay a heavy price and relieve some of the pressure on Xiaoyao capital. The corpse Emperor Hunwu will undoubtedly arrive. His current absence likely means he's hiding either within Xiaoyao capital or in one of the three cities. The assembled warriors wore grave expressions, fully aware that the martial Dao Heavenly Emperor currently leading the enemy camp was merely the tip of the iceberg. Zhuo Tianqing said, the five elements heaven and earth grand formation of Xiaoyao capital has been fortified for 20,000 years, guarded by 1,000,000 soldiers mobilized from across the nation, and bolstered by the transcendence of the Buddhist division. As long as no internal problems arise, it will be as impregnable as gold. Reinforcements from all realms are already en route. If we can hold this city and withstand the initial enemy attack, the scales of victory will tip in our favor. Bai Feng's voice continued to boom outside. When faced with death, the livestock in the pen instinctively hide, scrambling to the back, huddling in corners. Humans are animals too, just livestock at the end of the day. No, that's not quite right. Humans can also kneel and submit, secretly defecting to become our slaves and servants, helping us capture and slaughter their own kin. These are the truly clever ones among the human race, the ones who understand the way to survive. Zhuo Tianqing's brows furrowed deeply as he turned his gaze toward Feng Yi. Feng Yi, the #1 scholar of the Holy City 400 years ago, was renowned as the strongest warrior below saint level in southern Yingzhou. He stated, a duel against the true spirit king and Shi Rao might still be evenly matched. But to fight Shi Yao and Bai Feng, I'd need at least another 300 to 500 years to catch up. Shen Jingxin and Fatn Shangdi would conservatively require another 100 or 200 years of cultivation. Zhuo Tianqing said, the second Buddha and Supreme Elder Luan Ling must not leave the city to engage the enemy. We must safeguard Xiaoyao capital and Xiaoyao palace at all costs, deterring the enemy camp's hidden martial Dao Heavenly Emperor within the city. As for the Heavenly Emperor level, without Yu Daojun appearing, no one can match the giant spirit corpse king and Qilin Zhuang. The enemy intends to challenge us to a duel right here on the battlefield. This is a battle for morale. We can't keep enduring these insults and cowering behind our walls. Where's Li Wei? Go find him and bring him here. If he defeats Bai Feng, the Holy Dynasty will grant him a 5th grade emperor grade medicine herbs. If he kills Bai Feng, he'll be crowned Xiaoyao king of the Demon Kingdom. Cao Chen glanced sideways but remained silent. Zhuo Tianqing's status and cultivation far surpassed his own, and he had come specifically to defend the city. Zhuo Tianqing believed Li Wei's refusal to fight stemmed from his feud with the Demon Kingdom imperial clan, making him unwilling to defend Xiaoyao capital. Hence, he established such a lavish system of rewards. Zhuo Tianqing sought not only to secure Li Wei's participation in the fighting but also to leverage him as a means to persuade the Lingxiao Palace, the Chong Kingdom, and the Holy Hall's Life Realm, the powers standing behind him, to set aside their past grievances and unite against the Demon Kingdom. His goal was to unite these factions in offering their full support to win the Battle of Xiaoyao capital and safeguard the Great Formation while protecting the southern reaches of the 100 realms of the living. The decision to confer a royal title, a prerogative typically reserved for Yu Daojun, was made because Zhuo Tianqing had grown deeply dissatisfied with Yu Daojun. By using the title of Xiaoyao King as a veiled warning, he signaled that if Yu Daojun were to emulate Yu Baxian, disregarding the very survival of the entire human race, the Holy Dynasty would not hesitate to elevate another individual to the position of ruler over Xiaoyao capital. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 9, Demon Kingdom Chessboard. Chapter 130 1072 The Ultimate Trump Card. 130th of Volume 9. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. With the giant spirit corpse king, Venerable Shi Yang, and the Six Seas Dragon Emperor appearing in succession, how could the Buddhist division possibly spare any resources for other matters? Shen Jingxin and Zhao Meng led the Buddhist faction's cultivators, warriors participating in the Battle of Dao, as they rushed toward the eastern sector of the city. Li Wei gave Luo Lai 10 spiritual crystals and, without pausing, set off for Princess Qiancheng's manor with Chong Yulu, Tang Shituo, and Chong Yujian. Within Xiaoyao capital's inner city, every prefecture, county, and street was activating its formations. While these formations restricted the enemy's movements, they also made it difficult for the allied forces to use psychic power to detect hidden threats and complicated passages. The four now stood at the edge of a formation light veil, awaiting the activation of the prefecture-level defensive formation as soldiers verified the authenticity of the Buddhist division's passage tokens. Li Wei took a deep breath, struggling to suppress his growing impatience. He observed the bustling streets, still teeming with pedestrians, the air filled with the sounds of silk and bamboo instruments, and bursts of laughter. This only intensified his frustration, making him yearn to shatter the formation blocking his path. Chong Yulu seemed to read his thoughts. Over the past century, Xiaoyao capital has endured no fewer than 30 major and minor attacks. The city's inhabitants have long grown accustomed to this. Even if the sky were to fall, the Buddhist division and the imperial court would shoulder the burden. The formation light veil opened, and the four figures flickered, vanishing from their original positions. The vermilion gates of Princess Qiancheng's manor stood wide open, with 4 guards standing ramrod straight on either side. Bright lanterns illuminated the prefecture, casting a serene glow that betrayed no sign of anything amiss. Even with Chang Yujian's level of cultivation, he was led to believe it was a false alarm, that they had merely been made fools of. Within Chang Yulu's eyes, a myriad of shifting lights and shadows flickered into existence, allowing her to see through the residence's internal layout. She extended a hand into the void, and strands of spiritual chi reached out. Instantly, the formation diagram of the illusion formation hovering above the manor materialized, slowly retracting into her palm. The illusion vanished. The 4 guards standing outside the vermilion gates dissolved into wisps of smoke. The lanterns within the manor dimmed. An illusion formation. Chang Yujian murmured. He was about to rush inside when Chang Yulu's fly whisk pressed against his shoulder. This is Zhu Fenlong's work, Chang Yulu said gravely. Using her pupil technique, she scanned the manor and its surroundings, confirming it wasn't a trap set by the 9-part dragon, Zhu Fenlong, before adding, he's already gone. Let's go inside. The vast princess manor was deserted save for Qing Zijin, who lay collapsed in the reception hall. Not even a single corpse remained. Unable to awaken Qing Zijin, Li Wei had no choice but to call upon Chang Yulu for help. Another trick of the 9-part dragon, Zhu Fenlong, Chang Yulu remarked after examining Qing Zijin's condition. She then sat cross-legged on the floor of the reception hall, her spirit realm glowing with spiritual light as an 8 trigram seal appeared beneath her, focusing all her power to break the 9-part dragon's soul-sealing technique. Li Wei released the 6 phoenix-winged moth emperors and the earth spirit seed, ordering them to search the princess manor for any remaining traces. Boss Li, 2nd Phoenix reported, the entire manor has been thoroughly cleaned. Not even a scent remains. Damn it! Who dared to attack Acheng? 5th Phoenix raged, fury burning in their eyes. The 9-part dragon, Zhu Fenlong, of course, 6th Phoenix snapped. The demon consort made it clear. Go avenge her if you dare. The immediate priority is Nangong's disappearance, Big Phoenix interjected. She's vanished along with all the servants and guards. It's highly likely. Sigh. We need to find her quickly. She might have already left the manor, or never even arrived in the first place. Li Wei stood stiffly outside the reception hall, his composure restored as he gazed at the slip of paper in his hand. He was certain Qing Si had sent it. 2 heavenly emperors infiltrate Xiaoyao capital, risking death. What could their purpose be? Are they after the Void Ruins Empress's spirit realm? She's awake. Chang Yulu's voice rang through the room. Li Wei turned and strode inside, the 6 phoenix-winged moth emperors crowding in behind him, their gazes fixed on the tear-streaked face of Qing Zijin. Qing Zijin slowly sat up, her eyes focusing on the figures illuminated by the lamp. Grasping Li Wei's wrist with a guilty urgency, she gasped, hurry. Hurry and summon the Martial Dao Heavenly Emperor from the Buddhist division. They've taken Nangong west, toward the western suburb demonic mausoleum. Seeing Qing Zijin's delirious state and evident pain, Li Wei quickly reassured her, don't panic. The sky isn't falling yet. Speak slowly. We're already here. It's all my fault, Qing Zijin sobbed. If great-grandfather hadn't used me as a conduit, they never could have snatched Nangong right under the Buddhist division's nose. She then recounted everything she had witnessed and overheard. Upon learning that 3 heavenly emperors from the nether realm of the dead faction had arrived, Chang Yulu and Tang Shituo's expressions grew increasingly grave. After hearing the full account, Li Wei asked, in other words, Qing Si deliberately let you overhear certain information while keeping 9-part dragon and the Yin-crowned king in the dark. Ultimately, Qing Zijin could not bring herself to wish for her great-grandfather to perish at the hands of the Martial Dao Heavenly Emperor of the Buddhist division. Perhaps he was forced into it. He intentionally let you see and hear, so you would relay these words to me. He wants to lure me to the western suburb demonic mausoleum. Li Wei knew very well that the evil camel bell held a crucial connection to the Empress's spirit realm. Qing Si's true goal was undoubtedly to obtain it. Chang Yulu glanced irritably at the phoenix-winged moth emperors, who were chattering noisily. With a flick of her sleeve, she swept them all out of the room. It seems your guess was right. The cave ruins ghost city knows the secret of the Empress's spirit realm beneath Xiaoyao capital. The attackers of the Rice Palace were after the Dark Spring. But why now? Why seize this opportunity now? Naturally, they couldn't connect the Empress's spirit realm to the disruption of Xiaoyao capital's defensive formation. If they could, why hadn't the cave ruins ghost city acted on this knowledge in the past 20,000 years? Xiaoyao capital had never been completely breached before. Even Li Wei had assumed that Qing Si had allied with the 9-part dragon and the Yin-crowned king to break through to the Kunyuan realm or psychic emperor realm, manipulating all sides to open the Empress's spirit realm. Tang Shituo asked, if Qing Si's actions are intentional, wouldn't he fear drawing the Buddhist division's Martial Dao Heavenly Emperor to the western suburb demonic mausoleum? That is precisely why they executed a diversionary tactic, striking in the east while fainting in the west, Chang Yulu said. With the situation outside East City right now, could the Buddhist division's martial Dao Heavenly Emperor possibly leave the giant stone formation? Given the chaotic mix of forces at the North Lake auction, would he dare leave Xiaoyao Palace? Don't forget, North Lake is just north of Xiaoyao Palace. Chang Yulu sneered coldly. There might be another reason they chose this moment to strike. What reason? Chang Yujian asked. They might also be searching for Yu Daojun, Chang Yulu said, believing he's using the Empress's spirit realm's power to break through to a higher realm. A sudden silence fell over the reception hall. Li Wei turned to Chang Yulu and Tang Shituo. What's wrong with you two? Why have you suddenly lost interest in the Empress's spirit realm? Are you trying to use us to rescue someone? Chang Yulu asked, her earlier fervor replaced by chilling composure. Even working together, Tang Shituo and I can only handle one of the 3 heavenly emperors at best. Rushing to the western suburb demonic mausoleum would be suicide, not a rescue mission. No matter how magnificent the opportunity, one simply cannot embark upon a venture where death is a certainty and survival is impossible. Chang Yujian, hurry and report to the Buddhist division. See if they can spare a few heavenly emperors. Chang Yujian immediately rushed out of Princess Qiancheng's manor, inwardly speechless. A few heavenly emperors. The entire southern Yingzhou human clan, with over 100 life realms combined, only had about a dozen heavenly emperors. Qing Zijin sat rigidly in her chair, clenching her teeth. A look of grim resolve flashed in her eyes as she rose and headed for the door. I'm going to the western suburb demonic mausoleum. I'll trade my life for Nangong's. He wouldn't let me die, not in the end. Li Wei gripped her wrist tightly. Why are you acting so impulsively again? Do you really think exchanging your life will bring Nangong back? This isn't impulsiveness. I have to take responsibility for this, Qing Zijin insisted. If you have responsibility to bear, so do I. Even without his letter, Nangong would undoubtedly have come to defend Xiaoyao capital alongside the Buddhist division's transcendence. But he had written that letter, after all. Li Wei strode out of the reception hall, hands clasped behind his back, his gaze fixed on the street outside Princess Qiancheng's manor. If I have one last trump card, would the two of you be willing to go to the western suburb demonic mausoleum and help me rescue Nangong? Chang Yulu and Tang Shituo sensed his intent simultaneously. They stepped outside and followed the line of Li Wei's gaze. From the shadows of the alley emerged a woman with 4 wings sprouting from her back. Clad in black, her eyes each held 6 pupils. Her steps were slow yet possessed a rhythmic beauty that forced the heartbeats of the 4 onlookers to synchronize with her deliberate cadence. Chang Yulu exclaimed in disbelief, the heavenly demon empress. Li Wei had written 2 letters that day, one for Wanzhou and another for Lingxiao Palace. The letter sent to Lingxiao Palace was addressed to the heavenly demon empress. As the heavenly demon empress entered the courtyard, her gaze settled on Li Wei. I've come as agreed. Tell me, who is our opponent? Li Wei's attention remained fixed on Yaoyan, who stood behind the empress. Why did you bring her to Xiaoyao capital? The heavenly demon empress glanced at Chang Yulu, Tang Shituo, and Qing Zijin. The 3 hastily retreated to give them privacy. This empress intended to meet her in Wanzhou first, but she insisted on coming along. The heavenly demon empress retained a hint of her former arrogance, her posture stiff and unyielding, a contradictory blend of defiance and grudging submission. Yaoyan blinked, her eyes filled with worry. She told me that you were in danger, that you absolutely required her assistance, and she insisted that I must forgive her. I was so worried about you. Li Wei retorted, Demon Empress, aren't you just trying to deceive me? This doesn't sound like genuine remorse. But I've done nothing wrong. Where have I wronged you? Except for the time I had Grand Duke Tai Sui punish you, and the incident in the undersea ocean, I've only wronged you. If you want to kill me or leave me, I'll accept it. If you want restitution, I'll repay you. The heavenly demon empress tilted her head defiantly. Back in those days, it was Fei Feng who ordered Bai Luan to escort me to the land of fallen immortals. Yet, the scoundrel actually fell in love with a frail, insignificant human woman. Was I, the empress, expected to simply tolerate that? Li Wei, I ask you this, if Shen Jingxin of the Buddhist division and you were to go on a training expedition to the demon race, and she fell in love with a Dao Seed Realm monkey demon, wouldn't you be furious? Wouldn't you forcibly marry her and sever their connection? Li Wei scoffed, Heavenly Demon Empress, have you gone mad after losing the other Shore Heavenly Core? What does Shen Jingxin have to do with this? Bai Luan is to the demon race what Shen Jingxin is to the human race, both are exceptional. His beauty rivals that of the most handsome man, and his talent surpasses that of his peers. How could this empress stand by and watch him fall in love with a human woman? I refuse to tolerate such a humiliating disgrace to our feather clan and the entire demon race. The Heavenly Demon Empress declared. Why is your possessiveness so overwhelming? Perhaps you should leave, Li Wei retorted. The Heavenly Demon Empress clung to her own logic, rooted in the mentality of the strong, but Li Wei cared more about Yaoyan's childhood hardships and refused to argue further. You claim you have no possessiveness. I won't leave. You need my help right now. Let's reason this through calmly. I've argued this with you countless times in my mind over the past century, yet I still can't understand. The heavenly demon empress forcibly dragged Li Weiyi into the reception hall, determined to reason with him. Meanwhile, Feng Yi arrived outside Princess Qiancheng's manor. Li Weiyi, the Grand Minister, summons you immediately to East City to confront the Void Ruin Ghost Emperor's successor. Should you defeat, or better yet, slay, him, a bountiful reward awaits you. Give us half a quarter of an hour, Li Weiyi replied. With a swift palm strike, the heavenly demon empress slammed the doors of the reception hall shut with a resounding boom. Feng Yi stood frozen in bewilderment. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel.